where the mountainous spine of Patagonia and the forest lungs of the Amazon meet. Here, in the vast expanses of the Paraná Basin, is where the heart of South America beats, with a rhythm of rivers and streams. Nothing works in isolation. Rivers are the testimony of this, carriers of sediments, seeds, and a plethora of fauna and flora. A force capable of carving landscapes and habitats in the most diverse of brushstrokes. Used as a gateway during the steady expansion of colonization inland, river systems have been cut to shreds. What was once ecologically binding became the dividing line between vast territories. The ecological devastation has carved deep cultural rifts, fueling rural poverty and hastening the exodus to cities. Urban centers have relegated their very source of subsistence to the peripheries, risking a fatal split. Many have departed, leaving few behind to protect what remains. Yet those who stay know and remember that they stand at the forefront of a different path. A path signaled by the tracks, the flight, the roar of those who have returned from the brink of extinction.
You know, back then, a small window of opportunity opened for this wild vision to emerge, of revitalizing the Ibirá wetlands to bring back the jaguar after almost a century of its absence. And this, I thought, was the challenge of a lifetime. And 25 years later, I'm reminded again that whenever you have success with something, you have no choice but to keep going and expanding the boundaries of what's possible.
The time has come for taking rewilding to a continental scale. Amidst the great territories of Patagonia and the Amazon, the Paraná Basin spans over 6,900 kilometers, with the Ibirá wetlands nested at its core. After more than 2 decades of rewilding, Ibirá has become a pulsing source of biodiversity flowing upstream. Through the Bermejo and Pincomayo rivers to the west, where the dry Chaco forest climbs until reaching the misty Sub-Andean streams, to the Paraguay Basin, where the turbulent waters meet the calm floodplains of Pantanal, and up the upper Paraná River, whose rapid spin until arriving at the breathtaking spectacle of the Iguazu Falls. The Paraná Basin acts as a common water thread, recreating strong transboundary partnerships, stretching through and beyond the horizon of northern Argentina to Bolivia, Paraguay, and Brazil. Led by South America's most iconic inhabitant, the jaguar, 4 leading grassroots NGOs have come together in a joint endeavor to launch the Jaguar River Initiative and restore connectivity across the continent. At the headwaters in Bolivia, Nativa focuses on strengthening territorial management and forest guardianship by native communities in the face of a rapidly expanding agricultural frontier. At the upper course in Brazil, On Safari works with big landowners in the Pantanal region, co-developing alternatives to cattle ranching based on wildlife observation and jaguar coexistence. In Paraguay, a country traversed by one of the main rivers of the basin, Fundación Moisés Bertoni engages with companies and businesses working towards circular economies with sustainable water management. In Argentina, Rewilding Argentina works across 4 major ecoregions with governments and local communities. Together they restore ecosystems, create protected areas, and promote nature destinations that value wildlife and regional culture. The Jaguar Rivers Initiative will harness the original role of rivers as wildlife corridors. First, we will identify arcs, vast natural areas with healthy ecosystems that will become sources of wildlife and act as donors to other reserves. Together with governments and local communities, we will prioritize the protection of land, improve the Ark's design, prevent illegal poaching and deforestation, and control invasive species. Second, we will establish stepping stones to shorten the distances between arcs, so wildlife finds safety and shelter as they move along corridors. Through the Jaguar Rivers Initiative, we will inspire landowners living next to arcs and stepping stones to join this productive reconversion and adapt nature-inspired solutions like agroforestry and biodiversity credits.
As we face the turbulence and paralysis brought by the breakdown of our planet, I always come back to this. Hope has to be earned, and what we need right now is the kind of hope that can only be built from making bold moves together. Resilience flows here through the open veins of South America, a continent that, even when dismembered and neglected, still endures, pulsing surely as a river on its course to the sea. And it's here where the seed of hope is carried, where the people of the land form their bond to the deep beauty and intelligence found in nature, rewilding our very being.
The place is here. The time is now. Rivers map the way to the biggest picture possible. This is more than an act of resistance to the current trend of extinction. This is a quest for resilience, a journey forward into nature. Together, we can weave back the wild fabric that once held South America as one.